Erling Braut Haaland, the name that is redefining the concept of a goal scorer in modern football. From his humble beginnings in Norway to his consecration at Manchester City, this striker has conquered records and hearts alike. In this new video for Daily Soccer Planet, we explore the fascinating story of a player who has left his mark on world soccer. Early life and formation. Erling Braut Haaland was born on July 21, 2000 in Leeds, England, while his father, Alf Inge Haaland, was playing for Leeds United. He grew up in Bryn, Norway, where he began taking his first steps in football at a very young age. From a young age, Haaland showed an interest in sport in general, standing out not only in football, but also in athletics and handball. His physical ability was evident. At the age of 5, he was already impressing with his speed and agility. He also supposedly achieved a world record in his age category for the standing long jump when he was 5, with a recorded distance of 1.63 meters in 2006. Bryn FK and first steps as a professional. He started at the Bryn FK Academy at the age of 5. In an interview, Haaland's former youth coach, Alf Inge Berntsen, spoke about his talent. "I first saw Erling when he was 5, when he joined an indoor training session with a group 1 year older. His first 2 touches led to goals. He was very, very good from the first moment, even though he had not played for the club before. He started playing in his corresponding year group, but because he was much better than the others, we immediately promoted him to the U6 category. During the 2015-16 season, he played for the reserve team, Bryn 2, where he scored 18 goals in 14 games. In May 2016, Gaute Larsson was sacked as Bryn manager, and youth coach Berntsen was promoted to interim manager. Having worked closely with him in different youth teams, the interim manager gave him his first chance with the first team, even though he was 15, 3 months before he turned 16. His debut was a first division match against Ranheim on 12th of May 2016. Having previously played as a winger, Berntsen moved him up as a striker after a few games. Although he failed to score in his first season at Bryn, he was offered a trial by German club Hoffenheim before eventually moving to Molde FK. In total, he made 16 appearances for Bryn. Promotion at Molde FK. In January 2017, he signed for Molde FK under coach Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and his market value was €200,000. At the time, his teammate Ruben Gabrielsen said, "He developed in a way I have never seen in my entire life. He is stronger than he looks, and he is much faster than he looks. He is a beast." He scored on his debut for Molde in a cup match against Volda and needed just 6 minutes to score in his first league appearance from the bench with the winner against Salzburg, less than a month before his 17th birthday. He finished his first season at Molde with 4 goals in 20 appearances. On 1st July 2018, he scored 4 goals against SK Brann in the first 21 minutes of the match, securing his team a 4-0 away win over the then unbeaten league leaders. Molde FK manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer compared Haaland's playing style to that of Romelu Lukaku after the match, and revealed that the club had rejected several offers for Haaland from different clubs. Manchester United scouts were in attendance on the day of his 4-goal performance against Brann, and Molde officials have since confirmed that there was genuine interest from the Red Devils in acquiring the teenage striker, although it is not known whether they were one of the clubs who saw their bid for Haaland rejected during that summer's transfer window. For his performances in the 2018 league, he was awarded the Performance of the Year award. He finished the 2018 season as Molde's top scorer with 16 goals in 30 games in all competitions. A curious anecdote from this time is that Solskjaer used to challenge him to compete in finishing drills. "If I ever lost, he would stay on the pitch practicing until he beat me," Solskjaer recalled. If you're passionate about soccer and love staying updated on everything happening in the world of transfers, the latest news, and stories about exceptional goal scorers like Erling Haaland, subscribe to our channel to stay informed about everything going on in the beautiful game. Explosion at Red Bull Salzburg. Haaland was eventually transferred, signing a 5-year contract with Red Bull Salzburg in August, before joining the Austrian champions in January of that year. He left Molde after scoring 20 goals in 50 games in all competitions and made the most of his first league start for Salzburg with the opening goal against Lask Linz. Teams such as Bayern Leverkusen and Juventus took notice of him. He was flattered, however, he considered it was too early to go there. Since the 2018-19 season, he joined the ranks of this Austrian team. His value rose to 5 million euros, and one of his role models is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He is the greatest, he said in an interview with Red Bull. His first campaign, however, did not go as expected. He played only 5 games and scored just 1 goal, so they barely took him into account. But then, in his second season, he gained more confidence and became a key figure for Salzburg. He made history in the squad and in the Champions League, scoring a hat-trick in the first half of his Champions League debut against Genk on 17 September 2019. He equaled Alessandro Del Piero's record by scoring 8 goals in his first 5 games in the competition. In his second season with Salzburg, he played a total of 22 games, 11 as a starter, and scored 28 goals. In total, in those 2 seasons, he scored 29 goals in 27 games, winning a total of 4 titles by winning 2 Bundesliga and 2 Austrian Cups, Borussia Dortmund, and consolidation in Europe. On 29 December 2019, Borussia Dortmund made his signing official for around 20 million euros, signing a 4.5-year contract. Incredible records. He made his debut for Borussia Dortmund on 18 January 2020, scoring a hat-trick in 23 minutes after coming on as a substitute in a 5-3 win over Augsburg. He was the second Dortmund player to score 3 goals on his Bundesliga debut. In his second game, also as a substitute, he scored twice in 22 minutes, contributing to a 5-1 win over FC Cologne. He became the first Bundesliga player to score 5 goals in his first 2 games, and the fastest to do so, 56 minutes. In February 2020, he scored both goals in a 2-1 win over PSG in the Champions League round of 16. On 16 May, in the first game after the break caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, the player scored the opening goal of the game against FC Schalke, which ended in a resounding 4-0 win. This was his 10th goal in the Bundesliga, consolidating his outstanding performance in the domestic competition. Later, in June 2020, he scored twice in a 2-0 win against RB Leipzig, which ensured Borussia Dortmund's qualification for the Champions League for the following season. At the start of the 2020-2021 season, on 19 September, he scored twice in a 3-0 win against Borussia Mönchengladbach, reaffirming his good scoring form. In the German Super Cup, he scored a goal in a 2-3 loss against Bayern Munich, an opponent against whom he scored again on the 7th November, in a league match that also ended in a defeat by the same scoreline. On November 21st, the day he was recognized as the first Norwegian to win the Golden Boy Award, he put in a stellar performance, scoring 4 goals in just 32 minutes in a 5-2 win over Hertha Berlin. This achievement earned him the Bundesliga Player of the Month for the second time. He also stood out in November for his consistent contributions in the league. Days later, in a UEFA Champions League match, he scored twice in a 3-0 win over Club Brugge. With this performance, he became the fastest player to reach the milestones of 15 and 16 goals in the competition, achieved in just 12 appearances. His effectiveness and consistency in the European tournament cemented him as one of the most promising strikers on the football scene. In short, the player showed exceptional performance after the pandemic, being key in decisive moments in both the Bundesliga and the Champions League. His many individual awards and record-breaking achievements reflect his impact and growth as an elite player. He continued to increase his records in the Champions League. In February 2021, he scored 2 goals and registered an assist in Dortmund's 3-2 win over Sevilla FC in the first leg of the Champions League round of 16, taking his overall record in the competition to 18 goals in 13 appearances. In the return leg, he scored another 2 goals to seal their qualification to the quarterfinals, a round in which they were eliminated. Despite this, he was the competition's top scorer with 10 goals. Months later, he scored 2 goals in the German Cup final against RB Leipzig that helped the team win the title. 2 weeks later, with the season already over, he was voted best player in the 2020 to 2021 German Bundesliga after scoring 27 goals in the 28 games he played. With Dortmund, he scored 86 goals in 89 games over 2.5 seasons, and won a trophy, the aforementioned German Cup. Manchester City dominating world football. On May 10th, 2022, Manchester City FC announced that it had reached an agreement in principle with Borussia Dortmund for his signing from July 1st, pending the closing of the contract with the player. On June 13th, the transfer was completed for a total figure of 60 million euros, and he signed for 5 years until 2027. Strong, tall, fast, good in the air, and capable of scoring a variety of goals with either foot, Haaland has given City a variety of forward that has not been available since the departure of Argentine Sergio Aguero. His first 2 goals for the team came on August 7th in his Premier League debut and served to win against West Ham United FC. He ended the month scoring 2 hat-tricks, being the player who had needed the fewest games to achieve it, with a total of 5 appearances. A month later, he made his UEFA Champions League debut for the club, scoring twice against Sevilla and becoming the first player to score 25 goals in 20 appearances in the competition. In October, he became the first player in Premier League history to score a hat-trick in 3 consecutive home games in City's 6-3 win over Manchester United, in which he also provided 2 assists. He also became the fastest player in Premier League history to score 3 hat-tricks, doing so in 8 league games and surpassing the previous record of 48 league games set by Michael Owen in 1998. 3 historic titles for the club and a Guinness record. In his first season in the Premier League, he broke the record for most goals in a season, with 36 goals in 35 games. Thanks to these extraordinary figures, he was able to obtain a Guinness record. He was also a key player in Manchester City's 2022-23 Premier League, FA Cup, and UEFA Champions League triumph, completing a historic treble. In that historic season, he scored 52 goals in 53 games. Pep Guardiola has described Haaland as a gift for any manager. One of the most memorable anecdotes was his reaction after a game in which Haaland, despite having scored 5 goals, expressed his disappointment at not having scored a 6th. Haaland, who has 2 Premier Leagues and 1 Champions League under his belt, is currently worth over $220 million. Among other trophies he has managed to win are an FA Cup, a Community Shield, and the European Super Cup. Currently, in the Champions League, he has scored 46 goals in just 44 games, establishing himself as a record man in the competition. At 24, the Norwegian is already in the top 20 of the lists of all-time top scorers in the competition. Key moments with the Norwegian National Team. At the 2019 U20 World Cup in Poland, he made history after scoring 9 goals in a 12-0 victory over Honduras. These records set 2 records in the history of the competition: the most goals scored by a player in a single match and the biggest victory. On October 10th, 2024, with his 2 goals in Norway's 3-0 victory over Slovenia in the UEFA Nations League, the Android became the top scorer in the history of his national team, with 38 goals in 39 matches. In this way, surpassing the figure established by Jürgen Juve for the first time in 87 years. A goal scorer of the era and global impact. Haaland combines impressive speed. He has been recorded running at more than 36 km/h with clinical precision in front of goal. His ability to anticipate defenders and his aerial dominance make him a constant threat. Off the pitch, Haaland has become a global phenomenon. His charisma, sense of humor, and focus on hard work have captured the attention of fans and brands alike. On social media, his popularity has skyrocketed, and his relaxed and authentic style makes him very accessible to his followers. Erling Haaland, a goal-hungry striker who continues to write his legacy in world football and will most likely continue to break stats that will make him a legend of the beautiful game. What records do you think he'll break next? Share your opinion in the comments or suggestions below. We're reading all of them.